So I think we're live now. So hello. This is another Facebook Live with my friend Craig.
Hello.
And so I am the author of El Blog para Aprender Inglés and El Blog del Inglés. That is the continuation of El Blog para Aprender Inglés. It's the new format. And Craig, I think you can introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name's Craig. I am a materials writer at mansioningles.com. There's lots of free courses there for you and lots of material to help you take your English to the next level. And I'm also a podcaster, and I have a podcast with my co-host, Reza, called Aprender Inglés con Reza y Craig. It's mainly for Spanish speakers, and you can find it at inglespodcast.com and wherever you get your audio podcasts or music from. We're everywhere. And hello and welcome.
Welcome and thank you for coming. And so today's topic, I find it very funny. I enjoy this topic a lot because many times I had this situation where I was teaching and somebody asked me, how do you say meterse en un jardín? And I say, how do you say that in English? And I was thinking, so I've been for years studying the similarity of these kind of expressions. We were talking with Craig before we started, before we went live, we were talking about it because they're not really idioms, and some of them could be idioms, so idiomatic expressions, but they're not really also proverbs. What are they, Craig?
They're a mixture. Mixture. Some of them have a literal translation from Spanish to English and English to Spanish. You just translate the words and they're the same. And some of them have a metaphorical meaning and they're not exactly the same, so they're idioms. So we've got a mixture for you. And I'm really looking forward to talking with Monica about these expressions because I'm obviously living in Spain, but there are some of these expressions as a person learning Spanish and speaking Spanish that I've never seen before. So I'm looking forward to learning some of these expressions as well, together with you and together with Monica.
Another comment I want to make. Okay, I looked for expressions that we use in Spain, and if anybody in the audience is from South America, maybe they can share some of these expressions with us because they might be different. Because this is expressions that you usually, at least I heard at the office. When I worked in an office, I heard all these expressions in the office, and it was very funny because after a while you think that they're like metaphors that describe situations or behaviors of people that are quite interesting. And some of them have a story behind, no? And most of them we don't know why what is their origin, no? So, well, let's start.
Let's start. Let's say a quick hello to Gemma, who's joined us. Hello, Gemma.
Of course.
And Rafa. Rafa's here.
And Rafa also. Gemma and Rafa, very loyal followers.
Good to see you again.
So let's start with the first one. And also, of course, Rafa, I'm sure you can contribute with the translations and all that, because sometimes I'm a little bit lost with the translations. The first one is meterse en un jardín. Okay, everybody in Spain knows what is meterse en un jardín. Meterse en un jardín. This is for me, okay? I think I start and then you
start.
You do the next one. Okay.
That's yours.
Meterse en un jardín in Spanish, well, everybody knows that is when you get into something very complicated, or for example, you say something that you shouldn't have said. Normally, this is the case. You say something that you shouldn't have said, and it's better not to mention that because there's going to be somebody hurt, and there's going to be some consequences that you cannot really foresee, no?
So it's not the same. It's not the same as meterse la pata.
No. It's not exactly meterse la pata. It's to start speaking about something that you shouldn't have mentioned because, for example, somebody there is going to be hurt, or somebody might not like it, or you're going to have some consequences that you don't like. Okay, usually something complicated, not I don't know if somebody's saying some kind of to be a mess. No,
to be in a mess.
To be in a mess, yeah, yes, yeah, un desorden, but yes, but in English,
have you ever been fishing?
Yes, and when you open.
I've never been fishing, but I can imagine, like with worms, if you open a can of worms, they go everywhere, and it's
exactly.
and it's so if you do that, then you're opening something that's going to have bad repercussions for you.
Yes,
right?
Yes, exactly. And to open a can of worms is the same idea, no? And also it's kind of disgusting, no? I would say it's disgusting. To open a can of worms is very disgusting. So if you open a can of worm, you don't want to do that, actually, because the worms are going to be all over, and it's disgusting. So it's the same idea. So I could say, for example, hey, Craig, I don't think you should mention that to Angeles, because you're going to open a can of worms, okay? So just be quiet and don't say that you bought the new motorcycle, you know? I think you should just keep it secretly. Don't open that can.
How did you know I bought a new motorcycle this week? That's incredible. Why did you open that can of worms? That's going to cause me problems now.
Yes.
Where's all the money, Craig? I bought a new motorcycle, and because of Monica, we've opened a can of worms, and now everybody knows.
Yes. It's a big problem. You open a can of worms and you cannot get out of there. That's why people say. That's why people say that. Don't open the can of worms. No te metas en ese jardín. Okay. So don't mention it.
Exactly.
Okay. I think it's clear, no? Gema and Rafa and Siham. It's clear, no? The people that we know are watching. Okay, let's go and let's see the next one. The next one is for Craig. And this is very funny also.
And it's also interesting because I'm guessing that cacharrería is a China shop, right? Is that a place where you sell like china and cups and bowls?
No, more
Cacharros.
No, because China in English is porcelana.
Porcelana.
Cacharrería, not so sophisticated because it's cacharros. It's like well, it can also be teacups and all kinds of things, but it's more like a combination of pots or I don't know, different sets for the table, plates, and this is cacharros. A cacharro can be anything, actually.
But they are things that could possibly break.
Exactly.
So if you have a bull, un toro, or an elephant in a shop like this, it could be a disaster because they're going to knock things over, break things, everything's going to smash. So if you behave like a bull in a china shop, then you potentially could cause a disaster. And I remember my dad used to have a very bad temper, and you can lose your temper. And if you lose your temper, then your arms go everywhere and you can break things or you can throw things like a bull in a china shop. So when my dad lost his temper, that's how he would behave. He would behave like a bull in a china shop without control. So losing your temper, losing control, you're a bull in a china shop. And it's obviously a negative thing. You don't want to be a bull in a china shop. But what's interesting is that in Spanish, you say elephant.
Yeah, because it's like somebody who is very clumsy. You can say, you can use this to refer to someone who is very clumsy also. Like talking or doing things, like because he's not delicate with the things, or he is not precautious about some decisions. And actually, the banner I sent to you had behind the photo of this.
I noticed, and it's a lovely banner, and you can see the elephant in the china shop.
Yeah,
the bull in the china shop.
So it describes perfectly the situation, because it's the bull, like a bull in a china shop. Very beautiful. I think it's a beautiful expression, and both.
Rafa's laughing because he said you gave me a difficult word to say, which is cacharrería.
Cacharrería.
Cacharrería, which with the double R is difficult for English speaker to pronounce.
Yeah, let's see the next one. And also I love this because I feel like in Spanish it's like Little Red Riding Hood, because it's to see the wolf's ears, no? But in English we have another expression, to see the writing on the wall. Okay, so when you see the writing on the wall, is to be aware that something bad will probably happen soon, no? Well, I think, how can I describe this?
I'm thinking of the furlough with the Erte, because I think at the moment the unemployment figures are really bad.
Yeah.
But also there are lots of people who are on furlough. The word furlough is
furlough is Erte. Yeah.
Erte. So when those finish, the numbers are just going to skyrocket. They're going to rise exponentially. And I think we can see the writing on the wall that after May, when the furloughs start to finish, the writing on the wall is the unemployment figures are going to increase.
Yeah, correct. But I wanted to say that why the writing on the wall? Okay, I wanted also to say that the writing on the wall, because if something is written on the wall, it's very easy to see. No, that is the idea. And the same as if you see a wolf, I mean, if you just see the ears. If you just see the ears, you already know that something bad is going to happen, because the wolves come. Usually for farmers, wolves, not for us, but for farmers, are very bad animals because they eat the chicken or they eat the livestock. So if they see the wolf, they know that not the wolf, the ears, no? So they already know that something bad is going to happen. So the same for the writing on the wall. It's a similarity there of telling you that something bad. So you could say like no one told him he was going to be fired, but he could see the writing on the wall. No, he could see the writing on the wall. So he already was thinking, maybe I'm going to be fired. So that's what you're saying, no? Like with the case of furloughs, if the furloughs finish, well, but I don't want to talk too much about that because it's every day furloughs.
Yeah, I know it's on everybody's mind and everybody's thinking about it. So it's obvious. It's something that's obviously going to happen.
Easy to remember, right? It's easy to remember. Okay, now next one.
Like water off a duck's back. Yeah, you said before that you like this expression because if you think of a duck has feathers. How do you say feathers in Spanish? Plumas.
Plumas, yeah.
So when the water hits the back of the duck, it goes off very quickly. You just see it go off. It's like insulation. It doesn't go into the body of the duck. The water just falls off easily. So if somebody criticizes you, you can say, oh, it's water off a duck's back. I don't pay attention to it. It doesn't affect me. I don't care. No me importa. It's like water off a duck's back. So I didn't know that in Spanish you say, como el que oye llover.
Yeah, it's like the attitude that you have when you don't pay attention to anything. You don't care. No. So, for example, we lost the match. Oh, so who cares, no? Como el que oye llover, because it's raining. Well, it's raining. I don't care. So it's an attitude. It describes very well an attitude that you have when you don't care about something. You don't give any importance to that. So that's why, and it's the same in a way in the case of the duck, is the description of a natural fact, because this is a natural fact. But I find it so cool because I can just see the ducks swimming and just, I have insulation that you don't have. You know, I like that word too, insulation, because in English we have two words for aislante, and in Spanish it's only one. Is this? it's aislante, no? Aislar, but in English it's insulation for walls or the dark or some kind of material, no? And isolated when it's the person, not when you as a person are isolated. So it's two words, and in English it's only one. In Spanish is only one word for two different things.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is my contribution. Como el que oye llover and like water of a duck's back. Como agua sobre la espalda de un pato. So resbala.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay. Next one. The next one. This one is very easy to learn because it's exactly the same. So to take the bull by the horns, For example, Craig doesn't want to write the project or work on a project. He was thinking about it, and he's just procrastinating and saying, no, not today, tomorrow, and another day. And I go say, okay, come on. Right? It's time to take the bull by the horns, face it, and do that. Because
I was thinking of this with my website, because for a long time I've been thinking of changing my website. And I think I need to take the bull by the horns and actually do it. To confront the situation, to take action, to do something positive, take the bull by the horns. I need to make a decision and act, do some action, positive action. Definitely.
Yeah. And this, everybody, I think, you can comment, the ones that are watching, you can write comments about it. If you have any, as I said before, if you have proverbs or some kind of idioms that you would like to comment about, just feel free to write it. So
let us know
about that. Let us know, because I probably won't know the translation, but we can work it out together, no? So the next one.
This is interesting, because we use horses in English and you use donkeys, burros. So to get off.
Bajarse del burro is, because I suppose it's because many of these expressions come from the countryside.
Yeah.
And in the past, a lot of people move around with the burro, with the donkey, not with the horse. With horses was more for people have more money, no? But because and a donkey is quite good for transporting things, no? Better than horses, I think. I don't know.
But it's also interesting that in English it's a high horse. So there's this idea that you're sitting on the horse above somebody else, and you're looking down, maybe looking even down your nose at someone, which is another expression. So it's the idea that you know better than the other person. And one example that occurred to me is, and I don't know if you've experienced this, Monica, but there are some grammar purists among teachers that say, this is the way you speak English. There's no other way to use it. And an example might be with less and fewer, with uncountable nouns. You say, someone says in English that there's less people here today than there was yesterday. And someone says, no, it's not less people, it's fewer people. But that's correct. But so many native speakers say less. They say, it's 6 items or less in the supermarket queue. It should be 6 items or fewer, because items is a countable noun. But I might say to that person, look, get off your high horse, because it's not a typical grammar mistake if so many native speakers speak that way. Maybe the language is changing and it's not such a bad error. So get off your high horse and look at the language possibly changing, and maybe this is also correct now.
Yeah, it's like admitting that you don't know everything, no? It's something like you have to admit that you're not always right, no?
And also saying to somebody, don't be so superior.
Exactly.
You're not better than me. We're at the same level.
But in Spanish, and if anybody of the audience wants to correct me, in Spanish, I think bajarse del burro, for me at least, is not so much of feeling superior, But this is another connotation here. But it also means that you don't want to admit or give in. For example, you're making an argument. You're saying, "Oh, this is this way. You have to go that way. You have to do this thing. You have to buy this. If you want to, for example, build a house, I know the perfect way to do it. You have to do this, this, and that." And I said, "No, that's not the way you do it." But he continues and continues. And that is like, you don't want to admit or give in, and not so much of feeling superior, but give in. You don't want to give in. No?
So they're being stubborn.
No. Stubborn, yes, it's too stubborn. And also because burros, donkeys, are stubborn, are very stubborn. So anybody, let's see if somebody knows this, is if I'm correct, I think.
Rafa agrees with you.
Right.
He's saying you're right.
Rafa's saying you're right, because it's not so much of feeling superior. So the translation, that's why it's so difficult, the translation, because you have to see the context. When are you going to use the one expression and the other? Because as Craig explained, in the case of get off one's high horse, it's more that you feel superior, no? You're a little bit arrogant in a way.
Yes.
But Bajarse burro, no, it's more stubborn. This one doesn't. He doesn't want to give in. He's very stubborn, and because donkeys are stubborn. This is the reality. Okay, thank you, Rafa. This is
stubborn as a donkey.
Yes. Okay, let's see. The next one is for me, I think. Oh, this is a funny one, because I suppose I can imagine somebody sweeping the floor. Barrer is to sweep the floor. So when you say that you sweep the floor for your own house, not for anybody else. And in fact, I do this. For example, if if there are leaves outside their home, also the neighbors have some leaves, but when sometimes I try to do it for the neighbor a little bit, but of course you don't have time, and you just sweep the leaves that are on your entrance and not the neighbor's entrance. So in a figurative way, and actually this is an idiom, because I find it like an idiom, because in a figurative way means that you only care about yourself. Okay, you're only to look after number one. Is to look after number one. Let me edit that. This is okay. So in English is.
And it's usually quite negative, isn't it? If you say, "Oh, you always look after number one," that's usually a negative thing. You're being selfish. You're being very selfish.
Being selfish, but you might also use it in the opposite way. Sometimes somebody who's too generous and who's always doing things for other people could say, "Whoa, one day you should at least look after number one." No, you could also say that. No, you say one day. For you, not for the others, not for the others. So I think you can use it in any of those meanings. No, either you're too selfish and you're always doing this. You're only looking after number one. Okay, only worrying about yourself. Or siempre estás barriendo para casa. Or you should one day look after number one, because. If you don't do that, you're not going to get that job. For example, that could be. Let me see
if you don't sweep your house, who's going to sweep it for you? Jose Ignacio. It looks like he's from Chile, because we said before that different countries may have different expressions, and he's saying, "Hi guys, thank you for your teaching. Pleasure." In Chile, we have a funny expression which is more jerk than young dogs, which is más huevón que los perros nuevos. Do you know that from Chile, Monica?
Yes, I know this. I know this expression. I know this expression. Más huevón que los perros nuevos. Well, I understand what he means. It means because little puppies, the dogs, actually they don't know anything, and they make many mistakes at the beginning. No, also any animal, any puppy or any kitten, they don't know, And so they, for example, they burn their whiskers, or because the first time they try something, no, it's like in any species that you have this problem, no? That is because the young dogs are very clumsy. Yeah, that's true. But I was thinking that if in Spanish from Spain we have an equivalent expression, and in English, how could we say that? More young than young dogs? No.
I'm trying to think. I can't think of an English
we will have
expression.
to look for it, but it
I
would
like
be
it though.
something like, is a very silly person. Is meaning, if you say that, it's a kind of insult, no? So he's so stupid that it's as stupid as a puppy, no? Something like that.
And Rafa's commented on the expression we had before, to get off your high horse, could be in Spanish, bajar los humos.
Yes. Good, Rafa. Yes, good feedback, because Bajarse el burro doesn't necessarily cover that.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you, Jose Ignacio, also for that expression. I'm sorry, I cannot think in English or in Spanish from Spain the similar. Tener las manos, Rafa, sí, something is tener las manos de trapo. Yeah. Well, but the Jose Ignacio was saying something more like an insult. It's like an insult. He's so stupid that he's like a puppy, you know. It's something like that.
Maybe in English you'd say someone's really green. If someone's green, they're very naive, and they don't have a lot of experience or common sense. It's not exactly an idiom, but you could say, he's too green.
Yeah, in Spanish too. In Spanish you can also say, está muy verde todavía.
Yeah.
That is not the same of being un viejo verde, which is another story. Being un viejo verde or estar muy verde. That's this being, and estar y ser in Spanish is quite different, no? Okay, let's go with the next one. Let me go to
what's the next one?
I was doing. Okay, the next one is number 8. This is funny too.
To put the cart before the horse. Yeah, I was thinking of planning a holiday for Easter. But then it's silly because I don't know what's going to happen in Easter with the situation at the moment. So planning a holiday now is putting the cart before the horse. It's arranging something, planning something, thinking about something without knowing what's going to happen. So it's kind of in reverse if you think about it. The horse pulls the cart. So if you put the cart before the horse, that makes no sense. Is that what it means in Spanish? Empezar la casa por el tejado,
it's reverse,
which
exactly.
is al reverse. You're doing it
it's reverse.
Down.
You cannot start a house building the roof.
Crazy. It's impossible.
It's going to fall. That doesn't make sense. So
it's putting the cart before the horse.
In this case, this expression is really like a piece of advice. It's really a piece of advice. You shouldn't start the house by the roof, same to put the cart before the horse. No, it's exactly the same. It's not really an idiom. It's not really a proverb. It's just like some kind of advice.
So if somebody says something that doesn't make any sense, que no tiene sentido, you could say, no, you're putting the cart before the horse. You need to wait and see what's going to happen before you make plans, for example. Gemma says...
Gemma she's suggesting que mucho abarca, poco aprieta.
What does that mean?
That means that if you do too many things at the same time, you're going to do none. And this in English, I know this one. This is you are like a master. I know the last part. The master of none. This expression is I have it on the tip of my tongue, but I cannot
on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, this is like many horse and a master of none. The end of the sentence is and a master of none.
And a master of none.
You are
jack of all trades.
Yes, jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades and master of none.
Jack of all trades and a master of none. Yeah, jack of all trades is como Juan de todas las profesiones, that you do many things, but you're a master in nothing. This is que mucho abarca, poco aprieta, ¿no? So jack of all trades and master of none. And haciendo y deshaciendo, that is practice makes perfect. The second one is practice. I actually don't use the second one. The first one I do use, but the second one is the first time I see it. Haciendo y deshaciendo se va aprendiendo. That is, practice makes perfect. This is the proverb.
What does abarcar mean?
Abarcar is scope. How can I say that? To extend yourself. Help me, Rafa.
Okay.
How do you say abarcar? So when you, Rafa is
spread yourself.
Spread.
And apretar is like comprimir, like to push inside, to push together.
To tighten something, to put
Tighten.
it very tight. Tighten is to tighten, and to abarcar is the opposite. So,
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
Mucho, yeah. So jack of all trades and master of none, and practice makes perfect. But
practice makes perfect.
Two, in this case, here you see, these are proverbs. What we are talking about is more, like I said before, expressions. No, let's go back to our. I think it's my turn. No.
Yes.
This one is a funny one, and I love it because I was always thinking, how do you say in English la pescadilla que se muerde la cola? And in English, it's a catch-22 situation. And why before we started the show, I was talking to Craig, and I said, I know it comes from a novel, because this is actually an American expression. It's not English. It's not British.
Correct.
It's American, and it is from a book that is called like that, Catch-22 Situation, and the author is called Joseph Help, and it was written in 1961. No, and so an example of this is people know in Spanish what is la pescadilla que se muerde la cola, no, que se muerde la cola, because it's a situation that you go back to the same problem all the time, no. Do you
remember the example from the book?
No.
In the book, there's a character who flies in the Second World War, and he's a pilot, and he drops bombs on Germany.
Yeah.
And it's very dangerous, because when you're flying the aeroplane, they're shooting at you from the ground, and the other aeroplanes are trying to hit you with bombs, and it's a very, very dangerous thing to fly a mission. And the pilot wanted to stop flying. And the only way to stop flying is to say that you are mad, you're crazy, you have psychological problems. So you request a psychological evaluation from the doctor. But if you request a psychological evaluation, that's something that's not crazy. That's something sane. That's something normal. So that's why it's catch-22. He can't ask for the doctor's permission, because if he's crazy, he's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's catch-22. There's no way to escape the situation. There's nothing you can do about it.
But I don't exactly remember why the name Catch-22. Do you know? Because I know that it's the book's name and all that, but
there's no right reason why it's 22. It's just that if you think of two, like a 2 and a 2, it's an equal thing. They look very similar. So the two 2s together are like the equal situation, and there's no escape. There's no way to escape it. Another example would be the pension age. It used to be 65. When you get to 65, you can retire. But if you get to 64 and they increase the pension age to 67, it's catch-22. And then when you're 66, they increase it to 70. You never arrive at the age where you can retire. There's no escape. It's catch-22.
Yeah, and in Spanish, perhaps there's a slightly different meaning, because it's more like a cycle that, it is a cycle that cannot be stopped.
Exactly.
A vicious cycle, cycle, no?
Mhm.
And let me see the comments. And let me see here the comments.
When you take a lot of things, the wall
When you take a lot of things, the wall
goes around the city. Yeah.
Because of saving the Christmas, for Christmas, we are in this current situation. What does he say? Yeah, always is the same. We're because of saving the Christmas. Yeah, because
That's a good example, Rafa.
That's good. That's good, Rafa. Yes,
Mhm.
It's a situation where if you do one thing, another thing has, as a result, a damage. You know, if you want to save Christmas, you're going to have problems with COVID, no? And if you try to solve COVID, then you're not going to have Christmas.
Exactly. Jose Ignacio has an expression for horns because we said like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
To put the horns on someone.
Is to cheat on someone, but this is like husband and wife. They cheat on each other. That's to put the horns.
Or you could say to two-time someone. You're two-timing your partner.
Yeah, two-timing. But also there's another expression. I don't remember now. There's another expression. Apart, I would say cheat on someone, but there's another expression. It was.
There's a formal expression which is to commit adultery.
No, not that way. No, it's a funny. No, of course you can say something very, very formal, but no, I didn't mean that one. I meant this one similar to the horns. Because I don't have it here, I would have to look for it. But there's one. Okay. For you,
it's because we behave ourselves, Monica. We don't do that kind of thing. We don't know those expressions.
No, but it's very funny because you can speak about this. It's very common. And
is this for me to pull the chestnuts out of the fire?
Yes, for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's imagine that I'm traveling to visit Monica in Madrid, and I'm traveling from Valencia to Madrid, and I have a problem with my car. You know the phrasal verb to break down. When you break down on the motorway, your car stops working. So imagine I'm getting close to Madrid and my car breaks down and there's nobody to help me. And I phone Monica and I say, Monica, can you pick me up? Can you come with your car and give me a lift and help me because my car's broken down? And Monica comes to help me on the motorway. So she's really pulled the chestnuts out of the fire for me because she saved me from a difficult situation.
Oh, such a nice example. Such a nice example. Like
very similar in Spanish, and it's a direct translation as well.
Yeah. When you have a situation that is difficult and somebody helps you.
You can also, there's another expression in English which is very similar, which is to save someone's bacon. If I say, oh, Monica, you really saved my bacon. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, save someone's bacon. Yeah. You really
saved my life. You saved my bacon. Yeah. You've really helped me.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. But I can imagine because here in Madrid, many times in the winter, you see these people. Now you don't see anything because everything is closed. But normally in the winter, you see that they are roasting these chestnuts in the streets, and when it's cold, no. And I suppose, if you take those chestnuts, you're going to burn yourself, especially with the hand, because they're on the fire, no? And that's where it comes from, I suppose, because you're going to burn yourself, and so whoever does that has to make an effort, no? Because it's something to, and it's exactly the same in English, no? But
do you have a real fire in your home? Do you ever roast chestnuts on your fire at home?
We did it somewhere, but no, at home I don't have a fireplace. No.
We don't either. But in the UK, we had a real fire, so we used to roast chestnuts every Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice. Also marshmallows. But that is something that for me I did when I was a kid. I was very, very old. Mm-hmm. But okay, let's see the next one. This one is for me, and it's quite easy. Because in Spanish from Spain, I don't know the rest of Spanish-speaking world, but Spanish from Spain, we say son lentejas, o las tomas o las dejas. So meaning take it or leave it, or something that, for example, I'm looking for a job, and it's not the job that that I really want because I want a higher salary, but I need to eat. And so my friend says, "Hey, come on, Monica, take it or leave it. But you this is your opportunity. You cannot be nagging about this, no? Say no, not exactly what I want." Okay, I think you could also use it in the literal way, no? Take it or leave it. This is also not, an expression, no? You have, I don't know. You can give an example of a literal meaning, not so lentejas in this case. Take it or leave it. You have the umbrella here. Take it or leave it. No? That's
or if you're selling your car and I say, look, Monica, I'll give you 600 euros for your car.
Yeah.
I'm only going to offer you 600 euros. Take it or leave it. You accept it or you don't.
Yeah. But in this case, the meaning is not son lentejas, because son lentejas, the connotation here is look, you have no other possibility. Take it or leave it, no? Son lentejas. This is what I don't have anything else to offer.
And the full expression in Spanish is son lentejas, coges o dejas?
O las tomas
o los
dejas.
O las dejas.
Tomas o las dejas. That's the expression in English.
I like that.
Son lentejas because it rhymes, no? Son lentejas.
I'm going to try and use that in context this week.
Okay, good. So
son
next
lentejas.
one. This one I wanted this for myself, but I'm going to pass it to you.
No, you can use it. I like it. I like the Spanish translation. A peeled bum or a peeled ass.
Exactly, a peeled bum.
Let me give an example about Monica. Not because of Monica's bum. I'm going to give an example, not so personal, because if you notice, Monica creates really lovely banners for these Facebook Live presentations, and she's been creating banners for a long time to go with her blog and also publishing them on Facebook and on Twitter, doing lots of infograms to help you with your English. And she's an old hand at creating these lovely banners because she's been doing it for a long time. She's very good at it. So she's an old hand at doing it. So it's a very positive expression. If you're an old hand at something, you're very good at it. You have a lot of experience and you do it well. Yeah.
And also, to be honest, I didn't exactly know what the meaning of tener el culo pelado meant in Spanish. I didn't know, but I found it very funny. And somebody said to me, it's to have experience. And I went to my husband. You know, my husband is Dutch.
But what's the connection to have experience with a peeled bum? I don't get the... What?
The reason is, I thought the reason is because when you have experience in something is because you've been sitting for a long time.
Creating banners.
No. I mean, for example, because in Spanish, the meaning is, for example, when you study, or when you do any project, or you have to sit. You know, you have to sit, and also there are expressions referring to elbows, poner los codos. No, you have to sit for a long time to be able to obtain a result. So if you sit for a long time, your culo suffers, your ass suffers. No, so I said, but that's why. I think that's the origin of the expression. And the funny thing is that my husband. He's a foreigner, so I asked him, being Dutch, he's been here for a long time, but I was sure that he didn't know this expression, and I went to him and said, "Do you know what is in Spanish tener el culo pelado?" And he was like, "No, what is that?" And so it's to have experience. That's the reason, a peeled bum. But in English, it's much less vulgar expression, like to be ser una mano vieja en algo, no? To have experience. Let's see the comment.
To be an old hand at something.
To be an old hand, to be an old hand at something.
Much more politically correct.
Exactly. Okay. The next one. Okay, this one, is it my turn or your turn? No, it's my turn, no?
Your turn.
Yeah. Okay, this one is very funny too, because it's when you are, for example, asking for help, or asking someone to do something and they come late, no? So in English, it's like locking the barn door after the horse has bolted. So es como, this sometimes for if you have an intermediate level, perhaps you don't understand the whole sentence, and it means echarle el cerrojo a la puerta del establo después de que se haya escapado el caballo. That's the whole sentence, no? The whole sentence. So the horse runs away and you go and lock the door. Doesn't make any sense. So meaning you come with a solution after the problem, for example, you cannot solve the problem anymore. No,
I have a good example for this. Imagine
but let me give you an example.
Okay, you have an example.
Yeah, I think after the burglary, they install an alarm system, but it's locking the barn door. I have a very bad example.
No, it's a perfect example. That's what I was thinking of. Your house gets burgled, somebody breaks in and steals things, and after you put the alarm, that's the perfect example. It's too late. It's too late.
To take precautions after damage has occurred. So after the burglary, they install an alarm system, but it's locking the barn door. In this case, the example is just halfway. It's saying it just halfway because it's too long, no? It's like locking the barn door.
It's very literal in English, but help me understand the Spanish translation, because buenas horas, mangas verdes. Mangas are like sleeves, right? Like green sleeves.
Yeah, I think. Okay, I think. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I think this refers to a time where the police, I think like Guardia Civil, had a uniform with that was green, no? And it meant when that you call the police and they came late, no? And it was referring to the suit they were wearing. I think the uniform. Yeah, probably that is the origin of this. I think I read somewhere, but I'm not 100% sure. If somebody from the audience knows this, I would appreciate that they write a comment on that. Okay. So, but yeah, this expression is quite literal. So doesn't make any sense. You lock the door and then the horse was already running around there. No? So you couldn't prevent it. Too late.
Exactly.
Too late. So taking precautions after the damage has occurred.
It's like, your girlfriend gets pregnant and then you use condoms.
Yeah, that's very literal. Yeah, that's very literal. That's exactly the meaning of this.
The greatest thing since sliced bread. Okay, in my opinion, the greatest thing since sliced bread for me is Google Maps, because I'm always getting lost. And before I had a mobile phone with Google Maps, it was really difficult for me to find my way in a car. And it was a fantastic invention, the greatest thing since sliced bread, because if you think about it, it's really easy to slice bread, but if you buy it and it's sliced, it makes your life a bit easier. So the idea with this expression is that it's a fantastic thing, a brilliant invention, and it's changed your life for the better.
But you know what I'm thinking? That this is not a good translation then. No, I was already thinking when I wrote it. I thought, I'm not sure. This is not sure because you're saying this,
mambo.
Yeah, because this is, for me at least, how I understand creerse el rey del mambo. It refers to a person. It refers more to a person that he thinks he's very good at something and he's the best. He thinks he's the best, and that doesn't. You wouldn't say that for technology. You would only say it for a person.
Okay.
If he thinks he thinks he is el rey del mambo, he thinks he is the best, but not the phone or not some kind of.
In English, I would say, in a crude way, in a not very polite way, I would say the dog's bollocks, or the bee's knees.
The bee's knees. Yeah, that's another. The bee's knees. That's the right expression. Maybe I took the wrong translation of that. Okay, that because the greatest thing since the sliced bread is not exactly the same. That this, like in Spanish, I think is I don't know, but it's something like es lo último, es la última moda.
Mejor cosa del mundo.
La mejor cosa del mundo, but it's used for an object, not for a person, no? So that is
it would probably be for an object or an invention. The mobile phone is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It solves a lot of problems.
José Ignacio is saying something. We also use the idiom to tocar the violin. When, for example, you're alone and you have to spend time with friends. Okay. In English, is the third wheel. Probably the origin is from Venice, Italy, where you're in a small boat and your date is the third person is playing.
Interesting. Interesting.
This I don't to play the violin. Yeah, it is like you're a third party there that nobody wants really.
The third wheel.
Yeah, somebody that is not very welcome or you're just bothering the couple that is busy.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's another expression. Rafa has for es la repera. Yeah, pero la repera is positive in Spanish. Y el rey del mambo no, because creerse el rey del mambo is that you say, no, he thinks he's the best, he's arrogant, no. Per ser la repera, for me at least, is positive. It's a positive expression to be the best. But it's true, Rafa, that you could say this for an object. The phone that Craig bought, or this motorbike that he bought, is la repera. So that you could say that. So it's similar to the greatest thing since sliced bread. So it's la repera would be, I like that. And then we have the last one. Let me see if there's any other. Yes, for the Craig's idioms. Yes, exactly.
La repera.
Yeah, la repera. That's exactly what I said. Yeah. And now the last one is for Craig, and is
to go to hell or to go to shit. Irse al garete, which I've heard. Irse al garete. I've heard that, but I don't use it, and I'd like to start using that. So obviously, when something goes to pieces, or it's very negative.
Yeah.
And this, I know I keep using the example of the pandemic, but it's what we're living at the moment. So last March in 2020, the world kind of went to hell, or it went to shit when the pandemic reached every country, travel stopped. I know Rafa's suffering at the moment with his profession as a tour guide. So the whole hospitality industry kind of went to shit. And you'd say that in Spanish, wouldn't you? Se fue al garete.
Yeah, se fue al garete.
What does garete mean literally, Monica?
I think it's a hole, but I am not 100% sure if Rafa knows or Gemma.
A hole.
Garete is I think it's a hole. But
with going to hell, there's an expression from originally from American English, but now it's used in British and Australian English as well. To go to hell in a handbasket.
In a handbasket. Yeah,
is a full expression. I think that comes from the American Civil War. So if something goes to hell in a handbasket, it's a complete disaster. It's a travesty. It's destroyed, completely useless. It's completely gone to hell or gone to shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Rafa says that he doesn't know exactly what garete is. Fastidiar. Yeah, I know, Gemma, es fastidiarse algo, but the word garete, I think it's a hole, un agujero. That's what I think it is. I never thought about it. I don't know what garete is. Yeah, Rafa says, but maybe Virginia, palabra que se utiliza. No, somebody found it, Virginia. That's good. Thank you very much.
Irse al garete also says in wordreference.com to be adrift, to fall through.
Very good.
To go bust.
That. You see, you always learn these new things. I didn't know that. So it means that it's a ship or a vessel. Vessel can be any kind of vessel that is not that does not really like a captain is steering the wheel, no? And it's and just goes with the current.
To be adrift.
To be adrift. Yeah.
To go belly up.
Yeah, belly up.
To go belly up.
To go belly up.
To go bad, to go wrong.
Okay,
thank you, Virginia.
Yeah, thank you very much, Virginia, because you looked it up, and it's a new, for me, it's totally new. I didn't know that.
Shall we go through the list again?
Yes. Yeah, well, so let's see. Let's do a review.
I'll say the English, you say the Spanish.
Okay, meterse en un jardín.
To open a can of worms.
Como un elefante en una cacharrería.
That's like me, to be like a bull in a china shop.
Ver las orejas al lobo.
To see the writing on the wall.
Okay. Como el que oye llover.
Like water off a duck's back.
Coger el toro por los cuernos.
To take the bull by the horns. In San Fermin.
Bajarse del burro.
To get off your high horse.
Look, sorry, I'm having some technical trouble because I cannot go any. I don't know what happens now. It doesn't.
It's not working?
It's not working, no.
It's gone to hell?
It's gone to hell, yeah. Because it's like it's blocked. What is this?
Strange.
I don't know. I'll go back to comments. Let's go back to the studio, like they say in television. Let's go.
And now, from our correspondent in Madrid, it's Monica. Thank you, Monica.
Let's go. I think we out of control. It says, Virginia says, Gemma said out of control. Yes, Gemma out of control, and that's carete. And there's a lot of words with sailor slangs. Yes.
Yeah, there's lots of expressions in English.
Now the banners work. Okay, we're back in this studio.
We're back in business. Back to the studio.
Barrer para casa.
So look after number one.
Okay, empezar la casa por el tejado.
To put the cart before the horse.
La pescadilla que se muerde la cola.
It's catch 22.
Sacar las castañas del fuego.
To pull the chestnuts out of the fire.
¿Son lentejas?
Take it or leave it.
¿Tener el culo pelado?
That makes me laugh. To be an old hand at something. Monica's an old hand at technology.
No, that's not true, but well. A buenas horas, mangas verdes.
It's like locking the barn door after the horse has bolted.
Creerse el rey del mambo? We're not sure about this one, okay. But
the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Irse el garete?
It's all gone to hell, or it's all gone to shit.
Okay, perfect. So, vete al carajo. Virginia says something. Vete al carajo, yeah.
Vete al carajo, I remember that. That's the basket on the top of the mast of the ship, Virginia, I think.
Okay.
The carajo is where they used to look for land.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I know the expression vete al carajo.
There are lots of expressions about the sea, Virginia, and also about bullfighting in Spanish. There's lots of idioms and expressions. And also in English, not bullfighting, obviously, but
okay. Thank you very much. We really appreciate all those comments and the participation here in the site. EPI is very few people. It's not like in Mansión Inglés that we have a great audience because Craig has lots of fans. But. We can also interact with the audience, no? Because it's very small, so it's we can take care of them, all the comments and everything, no?
Thanks for watching, and if you're watching the replay, thanks for spending time with us, and we hope these expressions are useful to you. And thanks for watching live. Thanks, Gemma. You take care as well.
And don't forget to visit podcast. Well, you just say your name, English Podcast.
You can visit inglespodcast.com to listen to our podcast. And of course, where you get your podcasts from, we're on everywhere, every platform. And also Mansión Inglés, which is passing on the bottom of the screen there. Thank you, Monica. That's our website for courses. And we have a store that we also sell courses apart from the free stuff that you can find on the website.
Okay, and we have also Blog del Inglés that you can visit, and also if you want private classes, EPAI, and if you want company classes, there's another company called Apprentias. Okay, and you can look everything's on the website, and you can contact us. Okay, that's it for today, and thank you very much. We'll be back, and I will be back in 15 days, but Craig will be back next week. No?
Yes.
En Mansión Inglés.
I mentioned English. So we'll see you soon. Thanks very much for watching, and keep studying English and stay safe wherever you are. Take care of yourselves and be careful.
Be careful. Bye-bye.
Bye.